Hello friends, it's Kathy Clement with Kathy by Design. I'm so glad you could join me here today. I have another really fun little Christmas card folio to share with you. This one is made with Authentique's Colorful Christmas. If you haven't seen this collection, it is really festive and fun. It has a really fresh modern feel with the colors and patterns. Also just a little bit retro. It has a lot of really fun brown tones, which like this gingerbread paper makes me think of gingerbread. And so I had a lot of fun with this. I used the 12 by 12 collection kit. I'm showing you the 6 by 6 just because it's easier to fit on camera. And the 12 by 12 kit comes with, ta-da, the sticker sheet, which is super fun and just loaded with all kinds of elements that are really going to help you make a fabulous project. So I have a tutorial for this at the end of this video, so stick around for that, and we'll just take a quick tour. This is one of my 5 by 7 card folios. It has a 1/2 inch spine, and the front is just decorated up all sparkly and pretty for Christmas. We've got this kind of modern Santa, some bright red poinsettias. This is one of the 3 by 4 cards that I just trimmed out and turned into a Christmas ornament. I love these little reindeer, the pine cone, the peppermint stripe. Here's one of those little stickers that I put up here just as an accent. So as you can see, this is just loaded with fun elements. Now, I like to make these card folios because they double as gifts and mini albums, so that is super fun. And here's a look at the top. We'll take a look at that in a minute. And then down here on the bottom, I've created one of my pockets, and I filled it with a little decorated candy cane. You see what I mean about these stickers? Look how cute that is. And then I also created for the pocket a little gift card tag. So this just has a combination of different patterns from the collection, and then I just use one of these Tim Holtz holiday word cards, and you can stick your gift card right down here in this pocket on this tag. So now that, and also here another piece of the border sticker on this 1/2 inch spine. So this is what we're going to, I'm going to teach you how to make the 5 by 7 card base. I'm going to show you the process video of how I build the cover, but this is the main focus of this tutorial, learning how to build this really fun accordion fold folio that goes in the center. And I have all the information on that on the inside. It has a ribbon tie, and of course these are the 3 by 4s from the cut apart page, and look how fun. This one actually opens up into a little place where you can write your greeting, or you can tuck photos there. And then we have this really fun file folder sticker that I turn into an actual file folder. You could tuck a gift card in here if you wanted to. You can write your personal greeting. And then look at this. This is where it gets really fun. Woohoo! This opens all the way out. This is 20 inches wide from side to side, and each of these little panels is 5 inches tall. So lots of places, look, little flap elements. Isn't that fun? And these are so easy to do. Just mat your image, leave a 1/2 inch overhang, glue the overhang underneath your patterned paper, and you've got a flap. So these are little flip elements. And again, you're just scoring and folding paper to add this in here. Here's a little flip element where I took a sticker and did the same thing. I left a 1/2 inch overhang and glued it back behind here so your photo can go here and this can go on top. And then on this side, this really fun little gingerbread man, room for 2 3 by 4 photos, and then another little flap element. So super fun. And then the pocket in the center, decorated with a sticker from the collection. I just added a couple of red brads, and then this opens up. Here's a little gift card spot with a tuck spot. You can tuck your gift card in here. You can write your greeting up here. This little tag just sits in here, and again, this is a sticker backed with craft cardstock, both of these, and then you just turn around, and these just have so much potential to be cool elements added to your little folio. And then also I just cut 2 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 photo mounts that can go in here. So you could really capture most of your holiday in this little cute album. And then of course the fun thing is it can sit out as part of your decor for the holidays. So now that we've seen the album, I'll just tie this back up. Now that we've seen the album, I'm going to come back and we'll start by building the card base. Then we'll build the folio element, and then the final step that I'll show you is a process video of decorating the front. But Colorful Christmas, Authentique, super fun, super fresh, super jolly. Thank you for joining me. Don't go away. I'll be right back with those tutorials. Hold on. Okay, so I'm just going to start by showing you very quickly how to put together that 5x7 card folio base. And this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of craft cardstock. And you're just going to put it in your cutting tool and line it up on 5. And then put it in again and line it up on 5. Now, what you're going to need, because we're putting a 1/2 inch spine in this particular folio, you're just going to take one sheet, take 1/2 inch score tape, and you're just going to run this exactly across the end. You don't want any overhang at all. Can you see that? How that is completely lined up? And then trim off the excess. And then we're going to peel this off. Bring in your other piece of 5 by 8.5 that you cut and line it right up along that piece of score tape, and you see how it makes a perfect seam. Then flip it over, put it on your scoring tool, and score right where the two join. Flip it the other way, and you can see, it's hard to see on camera probably. Pull this down. But there's actually, I don't know if this will help or not, but there's actually a lip here where the two pieces are joined, and we're going to score, whoops, I went off track. We're going to score right along that as well. Let me just burnish that out. This is how I erase mistakes with my score cal. So then put this, get that out of the way so we have some room to work. And we're just going to crease it really well here. Come over here to this score line. Make sure you're lined up straight. And really burnish along that score line. And you can see you have a 1/2 inch spine right there. So now what I do is I lay this flat. I take my ruler, I line my ruler up right where the score line is. And it would help if I had my ruler the right way up. And I'm going to mark at 7 on this side. Then I'm going to turn over here. I'm going to line up once again right at the score line. I'm going to mark it 7 right here. And I'm going to bring in my cutting tool, and I'm just going to cut that excess off. And now what we have is a 5 by 7 card base with a 1/2 inch spine. And sometimes you have to just kind of work with the spine a little bit to get everything lined up right. But there it is, and it's a perfect lineup. So that's the base. Now we're going to work on the inside of the base. And I always do the inside of my cards first. I plot out what I'm going to do on the outside, but I actually build the inside first. So we're going to open this up, and I've lined this with the poinsettia paper, and then I created a pocket that is three inches deep, and of course this is 5 inches, almost exactly 5 inches wide. And I've showed how to do the pocket on a bunch of my YouTube tutorials, so you can look those up and learn how to do that. And then we line the top, and you can see I've left a little border of this craft paper all the way around the edge. I happen to like the way that looks. If you don't like the way that looks, then don't leave the border. But now what I want to show you how to do is this fun little folio that we insert up here. And I've put this one together with removable tape so that I can kind of show you how it's done. But this is going to have a ribbon closure. I love making these. The first time I figured out how to make one of these, I was absolutely thrilled with myself. So the ribbon, well, first we're going to create the base. And again, this is craft cardstock. And as you can see, it opens out a lot. So this is going to be the inside, and this is actually 20 inches long by 5 inches high. And obviously to do this, you're going to have to join paper, but you're going to do that just the way we did for the base. So just cut your paper 5 inches high, and then just join it together until you've got this 20-inch piece. So we've cut this 5 inches high by 20 inches long, and then you're going to score from the left on the long side. You're going to score at 3 1/4, 7 1/2, 12 1/2, and 16 1/4. And then you're just going to do a little accordion fold so that it ends up like this. And this is what's going to glue. This back portion is what you're going to glue onto your card, and then these wings open out and you've got this really fun accordion folio, and of course you've got room for pictures on either side. So we'll go ahead, we'll put this together. Like I said, I've held these together with removable tape, but we'll just put them together. Basically, you cut this first piece and it measures 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. And again, I do that because I like to have a border around the edges, and if you prefer, you can actually cut it to fully fit. I just like the way the border looks. And then I took a piece of the poinsettia paper and I cut this to measure 2 1/4 inches high by, of course, 4 3/4 inches wide, and this is going to be our pocket. So glue 3 sides, and of course I used a circle punch to add a thumb hole here, and then this is just going to glue. It's just going to go right. Make sure you don't go over your score lines because that would be tragic. And that's going to go right there. Then what I did to make all the fun little flip inserts was I cut a series, and I've got removable tape all over this. I cut a series of craft paper to be 3 1/4 inches wide by 8 1/2 inches tall, score at the 4 1/4. And then you can take, and I haven't inked these edges, so I want to go ahead and do that. Go to your cut apart page where you'll find all the wonderful 3x4 cut aparts, and this is going to just pop right on the front like this. And somewhere I have a paper towel that I use to clean up any glue blobs, but of course I can't find it. So this is going to go in the pocket. See, then this can open, and I'm actually going to put another little tiny gift card pocket in here and then room up here for a photo. And then this is going to pop in here. So these larger squares that you're covering, let me find my notes again. You're going to have all together, you have 8 panels, and you want to cut those to measure, hold on, 3.5 inches wide by 4 3/4 inches tall. So glue those down. I'm not going to do that because it just takes too much time. Here's another little flip element that I built the same way as this, only this one is glued, so that's kind of fun. And then I'll just show you very quickly how to do the cover. You're going to need about, I'm going to say 26 inches. This is brown gingham ribbon from Really Reasonable Ribbon. And I find the center point on the back of my little folio insert. And just run tape across the back. Don't run the tape over the front or you won't be able to open your album. And find the midpoint just by folding it in half. And then put that on the midpoint of your folio. Oops, see, these are not glued down. But anyway, this will be glued down. I just didn't want to take the time to do that with y'all. But I will do that. Okay. But you get the idea. This is going to cross over to here. And when you do these bows, okay, you've got your right, you've got your left. You want your right to go over the left and under. Then pull it perpendicular. Hold this with your thumb or your finger or something to hold it firmly in place. And then just make a shoestring bow. Fold the center. Pull the loop through. And then just adjust the tails and fuss the bow, and there you go. And of course, because I'm doing this on camera, it's giving me fits. If I was doing this all by myself in my studio, not trying to record anything, it would go great. But anyway, there's your bow. And you'll trim the tails, which I'm not going to do now because I haven't actually glued all my things together, but you saw how the tails were trimmed in the walkthrough. And then on the cover, I used another one of these 4x6. I'm going to add the glue to my ribbon, the score tape to my ribbon, just a little piece to hold that together, just so you can see what I'm talking about. Burnish that down. Sometimes it's a little tricky getting score tape off fabric, but that actually went quite well. So see, this is going to line up here, but then you can still open your ribbon. And what I might do is actually even add another image on the back side of this so that it's not raw, if that makes sense. But that's basically how you put this little accordion fold folio together. Isn't that fun? So you've turned your card into a folio, hence the name Card Folio. So that's really it. I'll be back to put the cover together with you. Don't go away. Okay, we're back and we're going to decorate the front of our colorful Christmas card folio now that we've done the inside. And to do this, the card is 5x7, so you want to cut a piece of this pretty 12x12 pine cone paper that's just slightly smaller, like about 1/8 of an inch smaller on each side. And then I'm just going to lay this flat. Then we're going to either glue or use score tape to attach this. to the cover. And you can see I used one of the little border strips from the sticker pack to add this little 1/2 inch border on our spine, and that does two things. One, it's cute, and the other thing it does is it strengthens that spine. So I used a Spellbinders, I think this is Labels 8, to cut this peppermint stripe paper, and we're just going to glue this, and then I matted it on craft cardstock and cut around it, because this was the largest die from that Labels 8, and we're just going to press this in place. Then I punched a scallop border using this Stampin' Up! Scallop border punch, top and bottom of a, I think this is 2.5 inch wide. Of course, you have to cut it a little bit bigger. It would help if I wasn't on the centimeter side of my ruler. Okay, my reindeer paper is 2 7/8. Actually, it's 3. So, you know, punch your border and then fit your 3x5 reindeer paper. And then I just added some gold holiday rickrack top and bottom. And we're going to glue that in place over our stripes, and we're just going to go right where the point is on this and try to keep everything straight. That's the hardest thing for me to do. And we're just going to hold that in place for a second while the glue holds. And that should be good. And then I used another, I took the Jingle All the Way 3x4 card, trimmed out the little ornament, topped it with gold string and some ribbon and some red jingle bells. And this is going to go right on here, but I want to put some foam tabs on this to kind of make it pop, come up off that background. And then the background is a Spellbinders standard circle die and a Spellbinders large standard circle die that I cut the craft with, and then this was cut with the small. And then they just nest together nicely and create a little background for our little ornament, which I will now peel all these stickers off. I should have done this before. Sorry, guys. You can also use waste chipboard on the back if you don't want to bother with foam tabs. I do that a lot, actually. I just didn't have any right at hand. All right. So this is going to fit. I'm offsetting this, so it's like this. Okay. And then this is going to go kind of at an angle, and we're just going to glue that down. Like right here, and just hold that, press the glue in place. That's looking pretty good. And then I trimmed down this really cool Santa, and he's gonna slip right, oops, let me lift those again. He's going to slip right in between these layers, and we're going to center him with the point on our die, and just add some glue. I should have done hot glue. Hot glue would have been faster. Okay, so we're just going to line him up, center him. See the point? I'm just using that as my center mark. And I'm using my stripes on my peppermint paper to help me get him straight. Then we'll just glue these back down. Okay. Looking good. Then I prepared this little bow cluster, and we're just going to hot glue that If I can get my hot glue to come out of my gun. There you go. We're going to hot glue that right in this corner, and you just need to hold that in place for a minute so that it, and while you hold it, I always go in and I fluff my bow. A lot of you ask me about my bows. I use a Zutter Bow-It-All tool, and then I studied all of the bow tutorials on Really Reasonable Ribbons YouTube channel, and then I just started experimenting until I developed my own bow style, and you can do the same. So there's that. We're almost done. Now, to decorate our little ornament, I'm going to take a couple of these festive little poinsettias, and I'm going to glue one right here, and I'm going to glue one right here, and then I'm just going to take, whoops, I want this a little more, there we go, there, and then I'm going to take this little Christmas tree button, and I want to add this in, kind of tuck it in with these flowers, and I just threaded this with a bit of that same gold metallic string. So there's a cute little bow cluster. Oops. Hot glue. I hate hot glue webs, the strings that come off. There we go, and we're almost done. Now I have this little poinsettia that I'm going to tuck back behind my jingle bells, just to kind of balance out the design a little bit. And that's looking really good. And then I have 3 little wooden buttons that I just want to put right down here. I love the gingerbread colors in this collection. Really fun. So, almost done, guys. These in place. Get those glue webs off of there. Hot glue. I wish someone would invent hot glue that doesn't string. I know someone said they did, but I bought it and I was like, yeah, you still string. But it's the best way I know to put a bulky embellishment like this on a project. I'll have to work on that afterwards. I have my little, this guy. Yep, that'll clean it up. I'll just come back later and work on that. But basically, there is our cover. Get all these little glue strands and adjust my bows. Oops. Look how cute. Isn't that cute? And then, of course, we open it up, and here's our folio. And then to go in this bottom pocket, I just created a little tag with some papers from the collection, and that's going to tuck right down in this pocket. And I decorated this pocket with this Be Merry stickers from the sticker sheet. And then I just dressed up a candy cane a little bit to tuck in there. And how fun is that as a Christmas gift? This would be so great for office Secret Santas or Sunday school Secret Santas, and it's a gift, a card, all in one. I love these folios. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and it gave you some good ideas that you can use in your own crafty adventures. Wishing you all a Merry Christmas. Now go get your craft on.